Maybe that. How about that? That work better? One goddamn button. Just one. Anyway. Hello and welcome to the stream slash video. Depending on whether you're here live or on the replay, thank you so much for being here. I welcome you. And I share my gratitude. If you would be so kind, no matter when and how and where you're watching, pretty please hit the thumbs up. And if you have not done so before, please hit the subscribe and the notification bell. What's going on, Brooke? What's up? Hope you and your family are doing well. We are. Thank you. I hope you are doing well as well. Yes, I fucked up my mic. Yes. There's no back into silence. What's up, Daniel? Ha. Spicy Dan. Those Daredevil episodes were good, in my opinion. Classic Daredevil brought the Netflix aura again. For the most part, yes. No what? Turn it up. I'm as up as I can get. This is as up as it gets. I have it all up. Well, I guess I can. Oh, I can do that. How's that? Is my mic dying? Like it is officially cranked to the max as of right now on everything that I can change the volume on. And I can plug my other mic back in, but then I'd have to hold it. Like literally. Like a fucking reporter, I'd have to hold this bitch. Was it back on now? Brooke says it's fine. And then you're saying it's cut. What's happening, chat? All right. Shush. Oh, you can't hear me over Josh. Wow, what a surprise. I'm listening to me. Do 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 do. Yeah, no, I can hear. I'm listening to the stream, and I can hear me just fine. All right. Now it's. That is weird. Him at 15% and you at 100% is about the same. Well, have you seen his mic? Are you familiar with that brand? That's a magnificent mic. That's my dream mic. Josh has my dream mic. I can't wait to see what you guys think of what I actually sound like. But in terms of life importance, way down the list. Way down the list. Oh, did he? Last time I tried to do that, some asshole had his fan movie copy struck. He struck my channel for a fucking fan film. Displeased I was. Displeased I still am. Oh, I can turn the fucking music back on now. There we go. You posted a link to one of the fan films? As long as you added commentary, the law is on your side. Well, I was saying stuff here and there. It is a long ass time ago. Like, I really shouldn't feel any way about it at this point because this was quite some time ago. But that's not how I'm built. I have a petty streak, and fuck that guy. Excuse me. And I also, because I have procrastination and laziness tendencies that are somewhat of my own making and somewhat due to my neurodivergence. It's both, I freely admit this. I did not want to bother with fighting over it. So I said, fuck it. Oh, thanks for posting that. How long is it? Do you know? Maybe if I run out of shit to say towards the end, we'll watch it. But and that's a hard maybe. I refuse to commit either way at this point in time. Fan films are kind of short. Some are fairly short. I've watched them up to like 20, 25 minutes long. Some people get fucking ambitious as shit, and I appreciate them for it because most of the time they actually do for fan films is pretty dope shit. What up, Delta Dan? How you doing, my guy? Like, not to open a big old can of worms, but as AI becomes more easily accessible, these fan films are going to get, well, as long as the story's good, these fan films are going to get nuts in a good way. I'm not talking about generative AI. That's your fucking uh that's your Terminator level AI right there. I totally brain farted on the Skynet. Skynet is full generative AI. The AI I'm talking about is that which just does what it's told. And is capable of collating. Is capable of mathematical extrapolation, but it is not capable yet of actual genuine thought. Like AI in its current form, or at least the form that we know exists, who knows what's going on behind closed doors, how far they've actually gotten. But from what they've let us see, I'll put it that way, um, it's still very much in the tool phase. But it is going to help the fan film, I guess, culture expand exponentially. Because their quality is about to go way the fuck up. Yeah, it can get a bit concerning. It can. Um, I mean, someone somewhere in some position of influence has like, but Terminator. I mean, technically, every second that passes, to be pedantic, we're that much closer to Skynet actually happening. We become officially the closest to Skynet happening as each second ticks away. But in broad terms, we've never been closer to Skynet than we are right now. Like when Cameron thought of it, we were nowhere close. And now, Has it been a full 40 years? When did Terminator come out? Will it be 40 years this year? '84. No, it was 40 years last October. Holy shit. Yeah, so who knew that a mere 40 years later we'd be on the path to that little cottage where AI is waiting to cook us all like Hansel and Gretel. So, there. An exposition about fan films and AI and how they are related. There you go. There we go. So, let us begin. You smash Shreddy, what's up, man? What's up, Delta Dan? Shreddy, I smashed like and Bix. Did Delta Dan, did you tell him what I said to you in Josh's chat? I don't know if he saw that shit or not. Did you make Shreddy aware, or do I need to do that now? What up, Shreddy? How you doing, brother? All right, well, let me know if he's aware of what I said about my beard. In the meantime. Oh, good, man. I'm glad you're vibing. Vibing is always nice. All right, let us delve... God damn, that looks so weird. All right, let us delve into the DCU to begin. We have this... Initially, you know what? Let me go back full screen for a second. Initially, on a very recent hot mic, I'm not sure if it was last week's or the week before's, but not too far in the distant past. Jeff Snyder, like pretty much the man when it comes to scoops. Whether you like his personality or not, the motherfucker's been doing it for 20 years or more, has cultivated really good sources, and is pretty much the most accurate insider slash scooper in the game. Whether you like it or not, them's just the fucking facts. Well, she's at least got a third face. Anyway, where was I? I'm so easily distracted. God damn it. I know I was DCing. Right, Snyder. I was pontificating on how accurate he is despite pretty much being quite prickish at times. If you ever watch the hot mic, he does come off like a complete fucking ass a lot of the time. But he's also damn good at his job and practically the best out there. So, now, he is always very careful to say whether he's reporting it as a story or passing it along as a rumor. And he was specific to say this was a rumor, but it was from a very good source. But still a rumor, not confirmed. I'm still number one, he says. So what Jeff Snyder had heard, what he had heard from his source is that his source spoke to someone who had been to a screening of Superman, and that the general consensus coming out of that screening was not that great. Okay? And then yesterday and today we start getting little droplets of conflicting reports. Campia came out and said he heard that the test screening of Superman went really well. And then I saw this tweet earlier today. Superman test session rumors in all caps, just like all of this is rumor. Nicholas Hoult is great as Lex Luthor. I actually suspect that will. Oh my God, look at those eyes. I can't do it. Pause. I said pause. Thank you. I can't do those fucking eyes. Holy shit, those are weird. Anyway. Nicholas Hoult is great as Lex Luthor. I actually think that is going to be the truth. Superior CGI than what was in the trailers. I would fucking hope so. Some surprise villains. That would be cool. Rachel Brosnahan is funny and adorable as Lois Lane. Well, as long as she's also a bad bitch too, that'll be good. Because Lois Lane's a bad bitch. You don't fuck with Lois Lane. Like, if she's not if she's only funny and adorable, that's a problem, because that's only part of Lois Lane. You cannot have a well-done Lois Lane without Lois Lane being a bad bitch. Rachel Brosnahan is fine as fuck. Agreed. That fucking dress she wore with she has magnificent underboob. That's all I'm gonna say. I'm just gonna leave it there. Yeah, you don't fuck with Lois Lane. So hopefully that aspect of the character is also fully intact. The film's comedy is more punctual and accurate, also having emotional moments. Well, good. Because full James Gunn does not belong in this movie. Like, not even half James Gunn belongs in this movie. Like, 5 to 7% James Gunn is maybe all that should be in this movie when it comes to humor. Yeah, no, that was actually a decent movie, bro. Like, the first Wonder Woman, not 84, that was a big gobbly-gob pile of shit. The first Wonder Woman was actually a pretty good movie. It wasn't like amazing or mind-blowing, but it was a good movie. And to complete the list, the tone is closer to the first Wonder Woman film, cool, and the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Well, those two are not that similar to each other. Wonder Woman's a bit more serious than Guardians. I prefer that comparison. And really, if you're going to compare it with anything DCEU, you need to be comparing it to Man of Steel, not Wonder Woman. Ms. Maisel, episode 1. Is that when there's northern exposure? If you follow, if you're picking up on a putting down, you know what I mean? So, I mean, most of this is pretty cool. Again, their Lois Lane better be more of a well-rounded character. I mean, obviously, I wouldn't expect zero comedy in this movie. So the comedy potentially, remember, this is rumors, potentially being more punctual and accurate and also having emotional moments, I like. I'm fine with punctual, accurate comedy and good, well-done emotional moments. I like that. She shows the 808s. All right. 8,008s? Yeah. That's what I meant by northern exposure. Yeah, I think that was one of the labels when I Googled her after I saw the dress. I'm like, I gotta know if they've been out in public or on film, which is technically in public. And you're surrounded by film crew, and then you hope millions of people will at that point see your boobs. Technically, that's what you're hoping for. I figured you did. But yeah, technically, that's what she's hoping. What she was hoping for is that thousands, if not millions, of people would watch her show and see her boobs. See, I didn't really like Amy Adams that much as Lois Lane. She was just alright. Like, I still think, what's her fuzz from the original was a better Lois Lane than Amy Adams. What's her fucking name? Margot Kidder. She was Margot Kidder is still the peak Lois Lane. Amy Adams was definitely better than Terry Hatcher. I didn't watch the new Superman and Lois show, so I can't compare, but I hear very good things about that show. Was there a Lois Lane in Smallville? I don't think there was, because he was only in Smallville and he didn't meet her until he went to Metropolis. So never forget I asked that. Just forget I asked it. Just forget I asked it. But yeah, I thought she was just aight. So, but yeah, the main point being, we have some really positive rumors about the screening and actual details. It's the first actual details I've seen. And we've got rumors about negatively viewed screening. I feel like the truth is somewhere in the middle, as it tends to be. Um, and so far as accuracy goes, I mean, as we all know, these things are subjective. I mean, sometimes there's obvious things in there that, you know, people with differing opinions look really goddamn dumb. But, for the most part, movies are subjective. And it is, when you combine that with the fact that it is highly unlikely that they all have the same source, here's what probably fucking happened. Snyder's source, or the source of the personage from whence the information came, may have been passing along merely their own opinion. Same for Campia's source. Same for the source of the tweet we just went over. Josh Rageface, right? We're talking three separate reports of rumors, sets of rumors, and the top likelihood is that they all three reports came from three different sources, all with varying opinions on the movie or how the screenings went or anything of a similar vein or in a similar vein. So, that's what I think of the conflicting reports about the Superman screenings. Although, on a broader scale, just the fact that there are conflicting reports is not the best news. You want them to be all like the tweet I just read. That's what you want. You don't want people out there saying things like what Jeff Snyder's hearing. Especially not after the first image we got of Superman was, what the fuck are these moon boots? Why is he just sitting there when there's obvious destruction in the back? Yada, 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 yada. Crappy intro. First poster was pretty cool. I didn't think the first trailer was bad. I thought it was a pretty decent trailer. I didn't I didn't notice all the, I didn't have any issues with like the lighting or anything like that. I just, it was a good trailer. Didn't wow me, didn't blow me away, didn't make me go whoa. But it was a good trailer. And then came this. Oh, it's after this. Okay, my bad. Or I get copy strip. And then we got that. The music in the music in the teaser was surprisingly fucking awesome. Superman being a great movie would be a good thing, says Delta Dan. Good for DC, Marvel, and even Star Wars. I don't know about it being good for Star Wars. I feel like there's only one good thing that could happen to Star Wars, at least for starters. And that'll happen, kinda. She won't be president anymore. She'll just be producing movies. And the only advantage to that is whoever the president is can tell her no. So there's that. But yeah, and then we got Super Derp. This isn't Superman anymore. This is Super Derp. And that's the most recent thing we've gotten. And then, so again, back and forth on the opinions. And then we get now back and forth on the screenings. That's not good. Derperman. Yes, Darboy. Derperman. Thank you. Good catch. Yeah, Derperman. That was a bit insensitive. I'm sorry. It's still kind of funny. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, it's probably bad that it's still funny, but it is. I may have to pull a Homer. Delta Dan says, I just rewatched Guardians 1. Yeah, Mrs. Chell and I are getting up to that here pretty soon. I never noticed how big James Gunn has to make his name in the opening credits. Same as Superman trailer. What an ass. But Guardians is still a good movie, though. Yes, that is true. I enjoy the first Guardians of the Galaxy very much. Honestly, I know Guardians 2 isn't as strong as the first one. I mean, I'll never try and like defend it like that, but I feel like that movie's a bit overhated. I mean, I'll never say it's great. I'll never say it's on par with 1 or 3. It's definitely the weakest of the trio. But I don't think it's like as bad as a lot of people seem to think. I'm fine being in that minority. But yeah, it was a good movie. I enjoyed it very much. But yeah, James Gunn, like most people in Hollywood, especially the ones that are successful, because it almost seems like this is unfortunately a requirement, has a big goddamn ego. Like huge. huge ego. I'm getting too old for that shit. But yeah, James Gunn's ego is monstrous. Really, even like in Hollywood terms, which is kind of crazy. But you know, again, and he made him a cartoon opening. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Supposedly he addressed that and was like, "That was a surprise." Whatever, bitch. You've only done it in every fucking movie you've made. I mean, the history is on the criticizer's side and not the criticizee. Sorry, Big Jimmy, or maybe it's Little Jimmy. Who knows? But yeah, yeah, made. So yeah, the dude's got a crazy ego, and his overall resume would back that up to a point. But there's some stankers in there, so don't get too ahead of yourself, there, big fella. Anyway, so again, we have back and forth reports on how the Superman screening went to complement all the divisiveness that most of the promotional material for Superman has been. And that's probably why they hired a marketing specialist that used to work for Disney to work on their marketing for Superman going forward. Because at least someone over there knows that there's been some issues with the rollout. The Glazers will, excuse me, of course, disagree. And of course, the flaws in the marketing rollout will be way overblown by Snyder Bros. But the fact is there is something there that the Snyder Bros can grab a hold of to go crazy with, and that is all the back and forth and the divisive nature of just about everything that has come out about Superman. Superman can't look forward. So how's that going to work? Um, well, he can. He's got lots of other super senses he can, work on that are even more sensitive than Daredevil's. He'd be alright. And he'll just have to be careful when engaging his heat vision because, it'll look kind of like Dark Side's, but not. Huh? It's in the bag upstairs. Sorry. Should be right on the counter. Um, but yeah, we're talking like Dark Side shit, but it won't. It'll just go wow off to either side. If he wants to shoot something in front of him, he'll have to do this or this. Because unfortunately, he's going to be doing this. Did they go out? This is in, out. I'm going so hard on that image, and I do not know why. The dog will drag him. There you go, Delta Dan. There's no CGI there. It's just the lens. You probably should have put some fucking CGI in that, James. Fix them eyeballs, bro. So yeah. So again, a lot of mixed news about Superman so far. And then, of course, there's the other big what the fuck's going on over there at DC, and that is as regards the Batman. Specifically, the Batman 2. As we know, that puppy's now been delayed to October 27. Grandson unhappy. I can hear him. Poor buddy. Where was I? Do you think the fisheye effect is contributing to that shot? Oh, definitely, but you should have fucking fixed it, because it's not like Gunn doesn't know what the internet is like. Like, it's not like what... It's not that, you know, PR departments don't know what the internet is like. Like, how shit like that even gets released when people know what the fucking internet is like? That kind of blows my mind. Like, you know, people, there's always going to be people, no matter how many people love your shit, there's always going to be people waiting to destroy your shit for whatever reason. Maybe they don't like you. Maybe they just don't like what you represent. Maybe they're pissed about what came before you. You know, many, many reasons why people would choose to hate on what you got going on over there. And like most of the people that work there should know that that's a thing, right? So you'd think that by now these studios would not let something go out that had that in it, that was obviously easily noticed. Like, that's just silliness right there. Like, I mean, I'm proof right now of like what the internet's like, because I'm in my basement, on a camera and a mic at a desk, talking about the mixed results for the Superman marketing, because that's how the fucking internet is. I'm not hating like some out there will be. I'm definitely not glazing like some out there will be. But for fuck's sake, what's wrong with these people? Like, I don't understand it. And I'm not talking about even DC specifically. Just we've all seen whack trailers, right? We've all seen whack trailers, or trailers that, at least, you know, if they're not overall whack, had some whack shit in them. You know, they go across, every studio puts some shit up like that. I mean, let's be real, including Marvel. And the internet is not a mystery. So don't put shit out there that people looking to chomp on you can easily get their teeth into. Like, that's just bad business, man. And more bad business is not having the Batman 2 ready to go. Matter of fact, this shit's been dragging on so long, Robert Pattinson made a comment on the red carpet about it. And this shit is hilarious. When I read this, I was like, God damn. Oh, the optics on this aren't great. Robert Pattinson says he fucking hopes to begin filming the Batman 2 soon. When asked about it, I'm adding that. I fucking hope so. I started out as young Batman, and I'm going to be fucking old Batman by the sequel. Now, evidently there was, you know, the usual laughter before and after he said that. So, you know, to make it look like he was joking and poking fun at the situation. But, like, for real though, joking or not, and I'm going with only half joking at best, the star of your fairly popular Batman movie is talking shit about not filming his second Batman movie yet, in public, on a red carpet, and dropping F-bombs along the way just to emphasize things. Now, here's the thing. Like, well, first of all, in terms of bringing him into the DCU, according to the reports from that powwow they had a couple Fridays ago, they're not going to use Robert Pattinson for the main DCU Batman. This little universe here is going to stay Elseworld. But your sequel isn't coming out for just over 2.5 years from now. Like, let's think about that. It's still over, just over, like 2 years and 7 months. But we're still talking 2.5 years from now before we get the Batman Part 2. That's like redonk. The script is still not done. They even said that in their little press powwow thing. None don't want Batman to do better than Superman. Gut punch. I mean, you know what? If he actually thinks that, that's fucking dumb. You just want them. You just want your Holy Trinity in general to kick ass. Who cares which one of the three is kicking the most? Batman did good, all things considered, right? Oh yeah, no, it did like between 7 and 800 million, I think. It performed pretty well. Yeah, 772 mil. It did pretty well. $772 on 185 on a budget of 185. Yeah, that did all right. So what'll that be? 185. That'd be 370 plus another 92. 460. So yeah, it would have needed basically 470 to break even, and it made 773. So that movie made $300 million in profit. So yeah, it did pretty good. But that motherfucker came out 3 years ago already. It came out in 22. They're going on 3 years. I don't think it came out this early in the year. But so we're talking. When did it actually premiere? Oh shit! I lied. It premiered March 4th of 2022. So yesterday was the 3-year anniversary of Robert Pattinson's The Batman. And it's still 2.5 more years till this movie comes out. At this point in time. Like, what the fuck, bro? So yeah, I mean, he made it sound like he was joking, but that was not all a joke. I don't even think that was much joking. I think he was fronting with the joking. I think he is annoyed as fuck. You can watch it at home same day. Cool. In 22? Was shit still closed in March 22? I don't know. That all fucking blends. I thought shit was more or less under control by 22. Or at least in control enough. Yeah, I think it did. I think you're right, Brooke. So yeah, so now you've got, again, mixed reports about Superman and mixed impressions about Superman overall. You've got your star of your current, and again, popular Batman talking shit, supposedly joking, but regardless, talking shit about your sequel. DC's kind of fucked up right now. Like, all studios are fucked up behind the scenes to a certain point, but this is kind of starting to get fucked up in public. Like, not subtly either. So, now, real talk, James Gunn annoys the fuck out of me. Not as much as he does Josh. But regardless of that, like, I honestly wish he would just shut the fuck up and go run his damn studio and put out dope fucking comic book projects. That's what I want. I want dope shit from DC. I miss dope DC. I haven't had very much dope DC in my life. I've had some. The Donner Superman movies. Keaton Batman. Bale Batman. Cavill Superman, Snyder Cut Justice League, it took me 2 watches, but I ended up fairly enjoying The Batman as well. I still wouldn't put it top tier compared to some of these other projects, but it was good. But, you know, there's also plenty of stinkers in there too. So I'm ready for some high quality DC content. And I want James Gunn to fucking produce it, which is why I want him to just shut the fuck up and produce it. Stop doing so many fucking interviews. Stop getting on Blue Sky and Twitter and Threads and whatever the fuck else and pontificating on shit and commenting on shit. And just run your goddamn studio and give me some fucking dope DC content. Is that too much to ask? It is, after all, your job. I mean, am I wrong, chat? Your wife told you what? The same thing. I'm a little lost on that one, Daniel. Catch me up. But, like, am I wrong? Am I asking for too much? Like, he's basically, he's co-CEO of DC Studios and running all the creative. Is it too much to ask that he just shuts the fuck up and runs his creative? Make sure everything is tight. Make sure it's of high quality. I don't think I'm asking too much. In my opinion, I'm basically asking him to just shut up and do his fucking job. Yeah, exactly. Sometimes he just doesn't know what the fuck. He looks like he doesn't know what he's doing. I think sometimes he just doesn't. He needs to learn, to be an executive. Like, you're not just a director anymore. You're not just a producer anymore. You are running a studio. You're not just a studio executive. You are running or co-running a whole fucking studio. Please just do that. just do that, man. That's all I want from you. Just do that. Still have the Dark Knight box set. Talk about that. Man, shut up. So, that's the state of DC as I see it. Too much mixed opinion on what's going on, and Gunn needs to just shut the fuck up, tighten this up, and give us some good goddamn content. There you go. TLDR. Boom. What do you think about all that pontification, chat? Do you think I am correct in my analysis of what's happening over at DC? Do you think I'm too harsh? Do you think I'm reading this in too much of a negative fashion? What's up, Travis? Oh, yay! Thank you. Turn on notifications and you'll know exactly when I'm going to be on here, because I always post all my videos and live stream links in the Discord. Brooke says at least DC is in an arguably better position than Star Wars, even if by a little bit, because of the hype around Superman. That is something I 100% agree with. I don't think you can even argue it. DC is still in a better position than Star Wars. Can't believe Batman's 3 years old already. Yep, yesterday it turned 3. Isn't that fucking nuts? Yeah, am I being too harsh? Am I misreading things? Do you agree? What say you, chat? Share with me your thoughts. Yeah, it has, Brooke. Time has gone by fast since 2022. And I got news for you, buddy. It ain't going to slow down. It's just going to get faster. It's just going to get faster. Relatively speaking. Brooke says, I want good DC stuff too. Dark Knight set a standard that will be difficult to reach again. Yeah, Dark Knight is kind of DC's Infinity War. At least in terms of where the bar is set in quality. I mean, The Dark Knight, and I fucking love that movie, overall is still not quite as good as Infinity War. But it is damn good. It is my favorite all-time DC movie. Like, period. All of them. Travis says, Andor was a weird one. For some reason, I swore that was 2023 or 2024, but it's also 3 years old. Yep. That is true. I care a lot less about that gap, though. I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm going to watch the show. I'm going to check it out. You know, see what they did with it. This last little teaser thing that they put out earlier today was so much better than the first trailer. And I'm going to say, I think a reasonable chunk of the improvement in my mind is the fact that they used proper fucking music this time. Like, your background music makes all the difference. And it made a huge difference in that. Bet Mando and Grogu kills Clayface in the box office. Well, Mando and Grogu better hope that Doomsday actually does end up getting delayed. What? Hello, Mel. Get out. Thank you. Because they both come out in May of 2026. As of right now. So, yeah. And besides, I think Clayface comes out later in 26 anyway. What? Chill, dude. Damn. I love my cats, but sometimes they just get a fucking notion. Doomsday delayed. I mean, it's kind of starting to look a little likely. Although I 100% agree with Josh, there's no fucking way it's going all the way in. It's not going to be delayed a full year. That movie is not leaving 2026. It might get pushed till November 26, but it ain't leaving 2026. That is the absolute farthest that will get delayed, a half a year. So, but yeah, like, yeah, otherwise, yeah, Mando and Grogu is going to get destroyed by Doomsday if Doomsday doesn't get delayed. Like, everything's going to get destroyed by Doomsday if Doomsday doesn't get delayed. I'll feel bad for November if it does, or wherever it does, whenever. Yeah, no. Although, honestly, I only really see them maybe delaying it a couple of months to the July slot. That was just occupied by Spider-Man 4, but that's now been pushed back a week. And if they want to treat that like the same slot, it also wouldn't surprise me since that doesn't start filming till, what, late summer? Wouldn't surprise me if everything just gets pushed back a slot. Doomsday to summer, Spider-Man to fall. Now, they're filming Doomsday and Secret Wars basically back-to-back, so just saying Disney ain't trying to compete with itself. Disney don't give a fuck. I mean, they'll avoid it if they can, but if they can't, they'll make sure at least one of them's a fucking banger. And, you know, if I'm going to sacrifice anything, goddamn right, I'm going to choose to sacrifice the Mandalorian and Grogu at the altar of Feige. You know what I mean? Yeah, I would much prefer to stay in the summer months as well, Brooke, but you just never know. It's all going to come down to post. Like, if post production is fucked up, yeah, that shit's going to get shoved all the way to November. So, we shall see. But yeah, I would bet mob money that bitch ain't getting delayed till, or will not be delayed into 2027. November 2026 will be the farthest out it will go, in my opinion. Travis says, I think we need more Barbenheimer double features, but that's down to the audiences to make that happen. Yeah, those are a rarity. The second you try and manufacture it, that's when it fails. They have to be random. They have to come along naturally. They have to come along organically. Otherwise, it won't be gone for. People will just be like, "Oh, you're trying too hard, motherfucker," and eat a dick. So, hey, executive judge, what's up? Welcome, my guy. So, I mean, that would be cool if the zeitgeist started to latch on to shit like that more. But Hollywood, if they try and manufacture it, it'll be painfully obvious, and people will be like, you know what I'm saying? I was thinking Oppenheimer would have been a bomb otherwise. I don't know about a bomb. No pun intended, right? I don't know about a bomb. They definitely wouldn't have made 900 million. That's for fucking sure. But I mean, word got around about it being like, that fucking good. I can see it still cracking like 6, high 5s, low 6s on its own. Up the Dan says, just saying that Mando and Grogu are C characters, just like Clayface, and just because the Star Wars name is going to kill DC at the theaters. I don't know. Star Wars I think the brand damage to Star Wars is the greatest of all our nerdy properties currently. Well, except maybe Borderlands. Was that Borderlands, that awful ass movie that I've never watched and never will watch because literally everyone that put an eyeball on it hated it? Was that it? Was that Borderlands? What's up, C-Dub? Nolan sold Oppenheimer. Oh yeah, yes. Nolan sells. Like the Odyssey is gonna blow up because it's fucking Nolan. And there are a fair chunk of people out there that like period pieces, so that will also help. And the cast is fucking ridiculous. Like just based on the cast and the fact that it's Christopher Nolan, that movie just screams Oscars. And I mean it literally plural, not just because it's called the Oscars, like not just because it's the Oscars that people are going after. Like that movie's going to be racking up statues next year. With that cast and Nolan directing, I'm not sure who the writer is, but like that movie is on paper set up for many, many statues, in my opinion. Armando and Doomsday coming out at the same time? Currently, yes, they are both slated for May 2026. I'm not sure if there's the same week, but it's definitely the same month. Talking about Odyssey? Yeah. Yeah, Nolan came up. For now, that is the schedule. We'll see if that lasts. But as of right now, yes, they're both slotted for May 2026. Oh yeah, back to Grogu, Mando and Grogu versus Clayface. I don't know if you can bet on the Star Wars name anymore. Like, I literally think KK has pushed it that far into the mud. And I don't think DC's quite that muddy. Now, it's got a better. I think it's got a better chance of outperforming Clayface, not because of the Star Wars name, but because Grogu is kind of a cultural phenomenon. A and B, the general public doesn't know or give a fuck about Clayface. It's a good thing they're only going to spend $40 million on that movie, because it'll probably be lucky to make $300 million. Like, real talk. Bill Dan says, I would go see the Odyssey just for the Odyssey. Oh, I know. I fucking love I fucking love the Iliad and the Odyssey. Homer's the man. Nolan is directing fucking... Was that supposed to be gold? I'm guessing that's supposed to be gold. Nolan's directing fucking gold, not sold. I'm guessing. So... Yeah, I don't know. I think just character recognizability is what will help Mando and Grogu outperform Clayface. I don't think it's the Star Wars name. Like if that was like a different side story movie, like if that is the Rogue Squadron movie, I think Clayface might take it. Because DC has less brand damage than Star Wars, and we're dealing with equally unheard of shit. Oh, you meant you're sold. Oh, my bad. Sorry about that, bro. So, that's just my opinion, but that's how I feel about it. Yeah. Okay. Shall we gush about Daredevil for a minute? And this is spoilers. Spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler alert. Clayface is an HBO movie? Yeah, pretty much. Straight to max, baby. That's what it should be. But it is what it is. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But let's gush about Daredevil. I'm about to glaze that show like I work at Dunkin'. I fucking love that show. Now, is it perfect? Let's just start there. Is it perfect? No. Not perfect. Let's just get that out of the way right now. It is not perfect. Like, I'm giving the episodes 9ers, but 9, 8, 10. They're not perfect. They are, however, extraordinary episodes of television. We love the premiere, but those episodes were long. Yes, and that's a good thing. That's like what most people have been clamoring for. Fuck these like 25 to 32 minute fucking episodes of shit we want to watch. Give me those episode length all the time. Give me 40+ minute episodes. I love it. Invincible episodes are nice and long. I appreciate that. You went straight to sleep after you finished, and plus you were so tired. Are we still talking about watching Daredevil at this point? Yeah, I'm a child. Deal with it. Yeah, that opening was fucking nuts. I mean, let's face it, we're all in the community. We all had heard repeatedly what was going to be happening in the show. But even practically knowing what was coming, oh yeah, it's definitely peak. But even knowing what was about to happen, Don't know, dude. Don't know how they're gonna do that, but they're doing it. Like the fucking showrunner, or no, what? No, Winterbaum confirmed it. So, but yeah, like, and this is what I always say when it comes to like why I not only don't mind like leaks and scoops and rumors and shit, but actually enjoy them. Um, is because reading about something and then seeing how it plays out for me is still two different things. I'm pretty sure I've used this example before, but way back in the day, someone I worked with somehow managed to procure the script, or a script, for the Kevin Smith movie Dogma. I don't know how many of you have seen that. So, and I read that bitch, so I knew what was happening. I knew what was basically going to happen in the movie and when and who would be doing it and all that shit. But then when I watched the movie, Foggy takes Sam's serum, right? Yeah. Sam didn't get the serum because they used it to save Foggy. I mean, maybe. If this is Phase 4 writing, probably. But yeah, so I pretty much knew what was going to happen when I watched the movie. But seeing it happen, seeing the actual vision rather than just reading about the event on a piece of paper, seeing the vision on the screen was still super duper dope, even though I basically knew what I'd be seeing next. I still didn't know how I was going to see it. You know? And that was the same with the opening of Daredevil. Dogma is good. Hell yeah, it is. And that was the same with the opening of Daredevil. You know, I pretty much knew what was coming and, proved to be so. But seeing how they handled it, like what they had going on around it, how they had people reacting, that was still super awesome to watch. And knowing what was going to happen, knowing what was going to happen, Jesus Christ, knowing what was going to happen did not detract from experiencing it happen. You know? So, I mean, that's just how I roll. Not everyone rolls like that. Some people have a much harder time differentiating. So, and obviously I wouldn't blame, if that's how someone processes, I definitely wouldn't blame them if they want nothing to do with leaks, scoops, rumors, or, just like the fact that they exist completely. That's understandable. But there are also plenty of people who feel the way I feel. So, it is what it is. Executive Judge says, I like the detail of Matt being able to hear Foggy and Karen from a distance while still scrapping with Bullseye. Yeah, and that added so much dimension to what was going on. Like a ton of dimension. That one-take fight was really long than any one-take shot I've seen before, but weirdly engaging. Oh, it was magnificent. It was magnificent. And finally seeing him basically Spidey swing like he does in the comics, but with his baton. So, I mean, no one can fully swing like Spidey, but Daredevil comes fucking close. And it was cool to see that they finally incorporated that. Like, I loved that. That was pretty sweet. I mean, in the Netflix show, he did some pretty damn cool parkour and shit, but didn't really use the batons to its fullest extent the way they did in the show. So, Well, Dan says, I'm glad Karen left San Francisco. That's a little over an hour away. I'm going to look her up. I mean, yeah, Deborah Ann Woll's fucking hot. She's a good actress, and she's good looking. I've been a fan of hers since True Blood. I think her character name was Jessica. I'm probably wrong on that, but that's the name that comes to mind when I try and recall her character name from True Blood. Yeah, they did do a bit of acrobatics in She-Hulk. He flipped and somersaulted his way down the parking garage. So yeah, that was about it. And it wasn't anywhere near as extensive as that opening scene. And I'm sure we're going to get more. Yep. Yeah, True Blood. Hell yeah. I love that show. That show was so good. I mean, it did get a little off the rails towards the end. I freely admit it, but I didn't care much. I thoroughly enjoyed that show. I gotta admit though, like the first season, what up, Griff? I gotta admit, like the first season or two, it was a little weird because Anna Paquin was Rogue, and I never expected to see Rogue like that. It was Jessica? Sweet. You know what I mean? That I was is that just me? Was I the only one thrown off with that for like a while watching that show? Suki. Suki. Yeah, was it just me, or were you guys like those of you that watched the show? Were you a little thrown off that Rogue was getting freaky? Oh, it's a good show, Brooke. It's a good show, in my opinion. It's a really good show. But yeah, that threw me off for a bit. I gotta say. Anyway, so that opening sequence, obviously that opening fight was dope. How they handle, just in general, how they handle Matt's hearing abilities is pretty fucking cool. Um, she thought it didn't phase me. You haven't watched Jessica Jones yet, Executive Judge? It's a good show. First season's definitely the best, but it's a good show. So yeah, that opening sequence was fucking sick. The beatdown that Matt put on Bullseye, and here's where we come into spoilers. And let's just address the elephant in the room that we're dancing around. And that is the fact that Bullseye drilled Foggy right in the chest. And of course, my fucking brain, as soon as he walked up, as he was walking up to the bar and capped those two cops with two easily placed headshots, why he didn't headshot Foggy to make sure he died. But the answer to that question is dramatic scene. So I gave a spoiler alert, Daniel, and I'm pretty sure you're trying to be a. I'm really hoping you're being sarcastic right now. The Hand had that resurrection stuff that brought back Harold Meacham and Elektra. It would be cheap, but true. But that being used to bring back Foggy, a lighthearted character, could be interesting. And shut up, Daniel. Love you though, but shut the fuck up. Yeah, that would be pretty cheap. Honestly, I don't know. And maybe this is just as big a cop out, but my initial thought is flashbacks. Thanks, Daniel. That's my initial thought is flashbacks. Um, I mean, if they want to go that route, maybe dream sequence. Although I doubt that. I think being super grounded is one of the elements that is going to be essential to this show, like built into this show, the bedrock, as they say. So I'm feeling flashbacks, but who knows? They could do. Who knows what they will do? They could do it a few different things. Bullseye wanted Matt's friend to suffer, likely. Okay, that I can buy. I can buy that because he is an asshole. It would make it the second time Eldon Hansen died and came back to life in a movie after Idle Hands. I've watched that one time so long ago. I don't even remember it that much at all. Honestly, I really don't remember it at all. I think I remember enjoying it, but that's about it. Um, yeah, that long ass fight. I mean, Bullseye just literally turning Daredevil into a fucking pincushion. That was fucking sick. Um, but yeah, having Foggy's heartbeat and hearing him and Karen trying to keep him there the entire time that Daredevil, like I said, off and on, but the entire time Daredevil and Bullseye are fighting was awesome. Elna's the one who gets decapitated, then Seth Green stabs his head back onto his neck with a fork. Okay, that's fun. But yeah, whoever came up with that idea, fucking genius. Probably shot him in the gut to get Matt and or Karen out of the building. Well, Karen was already out of the building. Remember, she got blood spatter when that bullet hit. So, and he went after fucking Foggy's dude to get Matt out of the building. Like, that was the whole point of that. And then Karen was out of the building with Foggy, checking on Foggy, while Matt was checking on Bobby. Yeah, that was his name, Bobby. Travis says, wait a season, then bring Foggy back to life and have him be a fun fish out of water who's changed by dying. Could be interesting. Bring some new religious weight to the show. That won't happen. That was a bold move. Yeah, you're right. That won't happen. But yeah. So, and then of course, the scene pretty much ends with, Foggy dying and Daredevil just almost mindlessly just whips Bullseye off the building. And I saw a little clip of the shove, like from the faraway shot. I had a faraway shot of when Daredevil shoved Bullseye off the building, and he fucking bounced. It was crazy. And he lived somehow. Somehow Bullseye lived. I wonder how, well, first of all, I wonder if they're going to bother to explain it, and if they do bother, how they're going to explain it. I'm interested in how he managed to survive that fall. I mean, was it a super tall building? No, but he was already busted up from the fight, and he landed face first, essentially. So, imagine Foggy coming back to life, getting into an argument with Matt. Then Foggy says, I saw what comes after. It's nothing. That would be cold. Ooh. Yeah, that would seriously fuck with Matt. Holy shit. Foggy the villain season 2? A plot armor, duh, right? Wasn't Bullseye's skeleton covered in metal in season 3? I don't know. I did not do a rewatch before the show. So maybe? Surgery at the end of season 3 of the. Oh, okay. So okay. All right. So that's why. Okay, cool. Thank you. So yeah, and of course he survives. Actually, if you think about it being Marvel, surprisingly. Yeah, I'm pretty sure now that you guys reminded me of it, it's that surgery. But yeah, just that opening sequence was insane. And of course, that was the only action we got in that episode, which is fine. Because the character work they did in that, the acting they did, just period, in both these episodes is top notch. In my opinion. But, time jump of a year. We see that the prosecutor that Foggy was hitting on in the bar is now Matt's partner in defense law. We eventually find out that she has a friend who's a psychiatrist that she sets up with Matt, and it works out. Found out Karen moved to Frisco. got to see Bullseye's sentencing hearing, where he got sentenced to many consecutive, not concurrent, consecutive life sentences. We found out there are some dirty cops. We found out one of them has a Punisher tattoo on the inside of his left wrist. Got a pretty good look into the life of Wilson Fisk and Vanessa. They're in fucking therapy with Matt's girlfriend. So that'll be a little bit of fun. Wonder how he's going to find out, because obviously he's going to find out at some point, right? I mean, he has to. I mean, Vincent D'Onofrio is just fucking acting his ass off. That Vanessa actress is killing it too. She is doing so well. The chemistry between Vincent and the Vanessa actress is solid. Their dynamic, of Fisk being away, recovering from getting shot in the eye by Echo and living somehow. Vanessa taking over the business and it growing and thriving. Fisk deciding to run for mayor and winning. Fisk getting into politics. Finding out at the end of the episode that Fisk is still fixed when he blackmails the commissioner. A shit ton of character work and a shit ton of moving characters around the board to set things up. I will freely admit that. But it was so well done, I enjoyed every fucking second of it. I can understand how some people may not be down for all the exposition and character work and shit. I mean, whatever, fuck you. But I, for one, thoroughly enjoyed all of it. Did you see any traces of the reboot the show started as, or does it feel like full-on season 4? Oh, those first 2 episodes, like, I feel like a lot of that, the first 2 episodes was the original show. I don't originally know how they were gonna. Well, no, the original show they had Foggy getting killed off screen, so obviously they added that whole opening sequence as part of the glow up. I feel like the action sequence, which was magnificent as well, at the end of episode 2, when Daredevil fucks up those idiot cops, I feel like that was probably added on. I don't feel like that was probably the same scenario in the original one. I have no idea if White Tiger was part of it, but his action scene was pretty cool. But I mean, I think we'll be getting more action overall, but there's still going to be a fair chunk of these episodes that's, scenes and character interplay and character building and, the interactions and various dynamics of everything that's going on. So, I mean, prepare for a lot of that, because I don't see that going away. It might be shrinking some, the action might be increasing some, but overall, these 2 episodes are, I think, pretty representative of what we're going to be getting with this show overall. Like how it's going to be set up, how it's going to go. I'm fucking here for it. I am fucking here for it. Yeah, I definitely saw traces, especially in these first 2 episodes. I'm very curious to see what the next few episodes are like. We got episode 3 next week, and then episode 4 the following week, and then they drop 2 episodes, 5 and 6 the week after that. So, curious if at all how Micro could be brought back into the Punisher side, given he's now also the Thing, but I think it'll likely be ignored. I do not recall of what you speak, Travis. Some people don't like stories, maybe spoilers, but gonna miss Foggy and Karen, but I heard they will both be back in some way, which I like. Yeah, fucking Brad Winderbaum confirmed they're both back next season. You were saying the episodes were boring because it's all talking after the cold open. Yeah, well, they can think what they want, but they're, pretty much dead ass wrong in my opinion. But that's just me. Any connections to Echo so far? Just Fisk talking about his recovery from being shot. That's it. Sometimes talking is boring, but in a good way if the dialogue is engaging and character building. Well, if it's engaging character building, I personally don't find it boring. It's when those things are lacking that I find exposition boring as fuck. Ed Moss backrack label. Oh, that's right. I forgot he was Micro in the first season of Punisher. Yeah. Yeah, they're probably gonna definitely ignore Micro. Didn't he die, or did they all go into they all went into like witness protection or some shit, right? Like that's how they got rid of him. Something like that. People's attention spans nowadays is good. Yeah, it's not. Yeah, but he specifically references Echo. Yes. What up, Justin? My guy. Netflix Daredevil season 1 through 3 was so much talking, it was not boring to me. Yeah, oh yeah, there's definitely a shit ton of exposition in the Netflix show as well. Micro did kind of retire. Yeah, see, that's what I thought. What up, Brennan? Oh, welcome one and all. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate that a lot. I also appreciate the like button being smashed at it. And if you have not already done so, the subscribe and the notification bell as well. That way you know when we're having all the fun, which is what we have here. We have all the fun, all of it. It's all here. So, what was I talking about? Right. Yeah, so there's going to be a ton of scene work in this show. There's going to be a ton of exposition in the show. There's going to be a ton of dialogue in the show. But I feel like it's going to be high quality, like it's been so far and like it was in the Netflix series. Therefore, I'm here for it. Aside from Frank, if one old Netflix character were to appear, who could you see it being? Oh, we're totally getting Jessica Jones in season 2. Like, I don't know if that's been confirmed, but it's fucking happening. So, and I would choose her first regardless. Anyway, Daredevil is number 1 of the Netflix Marvel shows, and Jessica Jones is number 2. So I would pick her regardless of whether or not I was 98% sure that she was actually going to appear. By the way, Daredevil season 2 is filming right now for a 2026 release. We need Mahoney back. Is that a fucking Police Academy reference? You talking Gutenberg? Bill Dan says I could get behind Jessica Jones first. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I would definitely engage in activities with Christian Ritter happily and with relish. Not literal relish, but relish as an enjoyment. Alright, that's enough gooning for at least a little bit. Yeah, so I thought the show, I again, at this point, I'm giving the show a 9 overall. Each episode got a 9. Um, there were minor flaws here and there. Mahoney, the black cop who's in a bunch of the shows. Oh, okay. Like I said, I haven't watched those seasons in a long time. I pretty much should. Shut up, Delta Dan. But yeah, and they're building a lot of intrigue into the show. Like, what's up with the dude's niece running the fucking news blog thing? Goon's gonna goon? Yes, we are. You know, like, what's her angle? Is she going after Fisk, like, specifically? It kind of seems like that, but, like, what's she up to? How the fuck is Matt gonna keep White Tiger from going, like, to jail for life for killing a cop? Kevin Davis, what's going on, brother? Marvel Studios gonna be fine. No, I believe that. I firmly believe that. Now that we end the subject, question. Yeah, what's your question, man? I'm always happy to at least attempt to answer. I don't know if it'll be a good answer or a satisfactory answer, but it'll be an attempt at an answer. How did Fisk get inside Ben Urich's apartment to be able to get close to him and kill him? Well, the simplest answer is he's a criminal, and at some point in his growing career of crime, he learned how to pick a lock. That's the simplest answer I can come up with. And given how grounded that show is, that's probably, in my opinion, that's the most likely answer. It's like he's a lifelong criminal. At some point, I would imagine he learned how to pick locks. People will go see James Gunn's Superman at the theaters, says Kevin Davis. Will it be a massive success for Warner Brothers? That's questionable. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely no guarantee of that. This movie could make... Superman could make 600 million, or it could make 900 million. I can see scenarios for either, you know, either side of that argument. Debate, however you want to call it. There's plenty of reasons to say it could make 6. There's plenty of reasons to say it could make 9. So, Disney Animation Studios putting out one film a year in theaters is a good thing. I mean, as long as they're good. Yeah. I mean, that's just like everything. They got to be quality. Fisk breaking doors down or have someone else pick the lock, in my opinion. I mean, could be. But I feel like lockpicking was involved. Oh, thank you, Delta Dan. Delta Dan has kindly dropped the Discord link into the chat. If you're if you're having a good time here, please also join the Discord. Anytime I'm doing anything, I also throw a notification in there. So that's damn it. That's another good way to keep track of what's happening over here in the basement. Some bitch. Yeah. So, yeah, I just fucking love this show. What do you guys think overall? And then we'll get into like comments and scoops about Marvel. Zootopia 2, Toy Story 5, Frozen 3 will be Disney comeback films in theaters for their animation film division. I mean, they already started with Inside Out 2. That fucker cracked a billy, I think, didn't it? That made a shit ton of money, I think. How much did you make? Oh yeah, $1.7 billion. They did okay with that one. Yeah, and I think Zootopia 2, Toy Story 5, Frozen 3. Yeah, I think they're all going to do pretty well. I feel like Toy Story 5 might do the worst out of all of them, though. A lot of people were not happy with Toy Story 4, and even more people were not happy with the Buzz Lightyear movie. So the Toy Story name has kind of been dragged through the mud just a little bit. Not a lot, just a little bit. Brooke says, liked episode 1 a bit more, agreed, but overall both are good. Actually, I like the way episode 2 ended too. Oh yeah, that was great. Like, poor Matt is getting totally Corleoned like in Godfather 3. He tries to get out, and he gets pulled right in eventually. Do you think Mickey 17 going to break even at the box office? I have no idea. And the reason I have no idea is because, like, frankly, I don't give two shits about that movie. Like, I don't care about that movie at all. Want to see Neza 2, that really famous animated Chinese film? That film's been blowing up like crazy. Yeah, it's made over $2 billion now, that movie. Over $2 billion. Delta Dan says, so far overall, 8.5 out of 10. Episode 1 was super good. Episode 2 may score down a little bit. I mean, that's totally fair. Totally fair. Totally. Excuse me. Oh, yeah, major score. Yeah. I mean, yeah, that's totally fair. Like, I saw a lot of people go 9-8 with their individual episode scores, and yeah, I totally understand an 8 for the second one. I don't know. There's certain things they did that I really, they did things in a certain way that I personally fucking love. So. Brad says, if Toy Story 5 is about Bonnie addicted to watching Skippity Toilet and the toys discover all unsold, overpriced Skippity toys in a warehouse, that would be worth it. Are you on something, Travis? I mean, you do come up with some stuff, like off the cuff, and I kind of envy that, but what the fuck is that scenario, dude? Wait, what the hell is that scenario? All right, folks, here's the dealio. I'm going to take a little breaky. I'm going to drain the main vein, and then I'm going to come back. Actually, I'm probably going to take a dab as well, like real talk. And then I'm going to come back. And then we are going to get into all this Doomsday and Secret War stuff. Martha? So I shall be back in a not too long amount of time. Please stay. Please don't leave. Just talk amongst yourselves. But please stay. There is much Marvel goodness to be had up on my return. Hello again. Hello. Rick watched Toy Story 1 and 2, both good. Yeah, they are good. Toy Story 1 and 2 are very good. Gotta watch 3 and 4 at some point. I don't know that I've ever watched 4, honestly. I think I've only watched the first 3. The Daredevil doing his best Spider-Man impression was dope. Yes. Yes, I very much enjoyed seeing him be the full gymnast, or at least much closer to the full gymnast that he is in the comics. For sure. I enjoyed that very, very much. Okay. Chat. Chat. It is time to get into the Doomsday and Secret Wars tidbits and Cosmic Circus Q&A. Yeah, so many comments from the Russo brothers lately, and they're all very, very interesting in one way or another. Could not find the exact quote, but Joe and Anthony Russo teased their Marvel return with Avengers Doomsday and Secret Wars, which have to outdo Infinity War and Endgame. Yeah, it's, seems like a logical thing for them to say, but they're aware of the size of the task at hand and, what the goal is. And that's a good thing. Like I said, not a massive thing, but it's indicative of their mindset. And I like that. Now, this is an interesting one. Robert Downey Jr. tried to convince the Russo brothers to direct Avengers Doomsday a year before they officially signed on. Downey decided to go back before we decided. We just didn't have a story to tell, and then it hit us. And we've heard about that before. They've talked about how at one point in time they'd called up McFeely to be like, bro, let's do this Avengers movie. And McFeely literally said, fuck no, and hung up. And then something popped in McFeely's brain, and he called them the next day and was like, okay, I thought of this story, laid it on them, and then, according to the Russo brothers, they all got activated by that story. But evidently a year before all of that happened, Downey was already getting a hold of the Russo brothers like, guys, we need to do this Avengers movie. You need to do this. You need to come back. So Downey has been ready to come back, folks. He would want the right story. He would want to be convinced, and he would want to be confident in that it's going to be a banger, that people are going to love it, that he can kick ass in it, literally and figuratively. Like, he's going to be sure. But he wanted to come back. Like, that's obvious. Because remember, these guys were announced last summer and rumored to be back for a couple, 3 months before that. Who knows when they were actually signed? They could have been signed as early as late 2023, right? Or mid 2023. Which means we're talking Downey's been ready to come back since 2022. 3 years out from Endgame, he is like, all right, I'm ready to do something. Let me call up my buddies Joe and Anthony, and see if they want to make another fucking Avengers movie. And initially they didn't. But then they decided they did. And they called it McFeely and was like, my guy, want to do this? And he said, fuck no. And then he slept on it, came up with a story idea, called the brothers back, told them the idea, and they all got activated, and now here we fucking are. But how interesting is that? Do you find that interesting? I find it interesting that Downey's been ready to come back for, a little over 2 years now. Like, that's kind of nuts, but it's kind of fucking awesome. The Russo brothers also gave an estimate on what the run times may be for the films. They estimate that Doomsday will be 2.5 hours and Secret Wars will be 3 hours. I mean, they have to accomplish a lot of shit in both of these movies, like a lot. Given that Phase 4 and 5 were complete garbage at setting this up. Personally, I think they could and maybe even should go 3 hours and 3.5 hours instead of 2.5 hours and 3. Like, you can pack a lot of shit in 30 minutes, and I think 30 minutes tacked on to the end of each of these films would probably be a good idea. Yes, is 3.5 hours a fucking long movie? Yes, it is. But there's a lot of shit you're going to have to cram into that movie. And I don't think they're going to split it into 2. It's already looking like they're going to have to do some date flipping or switching anyway. So, if anything, that's going to discourage them further from splitting Secret Wars into 2 parts. So, but yeah, I think they could and maybe even should tack a half hour on each of those puppies. But I mean, that's some solid run times and about what, it's around what you would expect. But I think maybe they could and should get away with longer. And then we have this one, which is fucking magnificent. Joe Russo says Robert Downey Jr. is doing detailed research to prepare to play Dr. Doom. He's writing backstory, costume ideas. He just loves really rich three-dimensional characters, and I think he sees a real opportunity here with the character. This is why Robert Downey Jr. is the best actor in the MCU. This right here. He's doing detailed research. He's reading comics, trying to understand this character. He's writing backstory. I don't know why he needs to write backstory. There's plenty of backstory in the comics, but obviously, Marvel Studios never does a one-to-one. Now, fucking around with backstory too much will piss off fans. So hopefully whatever he's working on is going to be, at least in a few basic elements the same. There will have to be certain adjustments made for the sake of these movies. But as long as it's similar enough, dope. I mean, Doom is a very rich three-dimensional character. That is for damn sure. So, all in all, this is fucking awesome. Like, Downey's taking this seriously and has been ready again to take this seriously since mid to late 2022. Here's more proof of Downey's dedication, which is awesome to know about, especially for those who are still, for whatever silly ass reason in my mind, speculative about him as Doom. This is why I was never worried. I didn't know this, obviously. I just knew Downey's the fucking man, so I wasn't worried. But here's more proof as to why I wasn't worried, shouldn't have been worried, and I never thought anyone else should have been either. Here's why. This is why you shouldn't worry about RDJ playing Dr. Doom, because RDJ does shit like this. And you know from the fact that he does shit like that he's not going to be coming back for any lame ass story or weird ass story or a story that doesn't make any sense. Like, he knows what good projects look like. He's been in enough. He's got to be confident that this is going to be high quality. And obviously, he's also doing his damnedest to make sure that it is, or that at least his Doom is high quality. So I fucking love this. I think this is pretty damn cool. I think it's pretty awesome. My respect for Downey went up even more. Like, it's just dope. Now, here's a fun one. The Russo brothers, and this will be interesting to see how effective this is. The Russo brothers have strategized to prevent set leaks for Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars. They will mostly be filming on sound stages, so expect a lot of green screen background CGI shit. They picked specific filming locations to avoid leaks. So any on-location shooting they're doing is allegedly ultra secretive. I don't know how effective this is going to be. I mean, obviously not filming outside hardly at all helps. So the filming on sound stages will help for sure. In specific filming locations, like what are they planning on shooting in forests? Like what the fuck are we even talking about here? So I don't know. I don't know how effective their strategy is going to end up being. But if it's even partially effective, we're not going to have anywhere near the amount of news on these movies we're used to getting, or rumors. I say news, but I include everything when I say news, rumor, scoop, what have you. It's all news in some form or another. I mean, it doesn't surprise me that they've attempted to strategize for this, because let's face it, Marvel can be a bit of a sieve. And we all know Feige hates the leaks. And of course, we just got all that concept art over the weekend to further encourage said strategy. So, yeah, I know you're not a big scooper leaker fan though, Your Honor. I mean, honestly though, I'm okay with it too. I mean, if I don't know shit, I'm not gonna like freak out about not knowing what's coming. But you know, like I described earlier, I'm also like, for me, knowing a detail is not the same as seeing the detail acted out. It's about time we go into a movie with a bit of mystery. I mean, that's totally fair. Like I said, I'm not gonna mind not knowing much, but I'm gonna have fun with what I found out. There weren't much leaks for Shang-Chi, and the film was better for it. I wasn't really into the culture when Shang-Chi came out, so I don't know. What I do know is I very much enjoyed that movie. Even Aquafina couldn't take me out of it. Although I swear she tried. I swear she fucking tried. But she did not succeed. So. But yeah, I just think that's kind of fun. Little tidbits from the Russo brothers. They've dropped in an interview here and there. But now we get to the main part. The juice, the tea, the meat, the sauce. Whatever you want to call it. This is where the big info comes from. Once again, Alex Perez from the Cosmic Circus has done his March Discord Q&A. And this is part one of I don't know how many. Maybe we'll find out at the end. Now, unlike the last couple times these have dropped, I have not laid eyes on more than what you see on your screen. I have not previewed this even a little bit. So we're all going to be reacting to this 100% organically together. Shang-Chi was pretty good, one of the better films of Phase 4. Oh, it was a highlight of that phase. And not even just because the rest of the phase was that crappy. That was a good fucking movie. Not an expert on the 2015 Secret Wars, but do you think the Beyonders will be changed to the Eternals for the story, and that's how Doom becomes God Emperor? No. I think the Beyonders will be the Beyonder, and I think that's how they're going to reutilize Kang, if the rumors are true, and they're going to be bringing him back to close out his story. They will make him a version of the Beyonder, and then Doom will dog walk his ass instead of like a whole group of them like in the comics. Or in the 2015 run, specifically. Yeah, but it's going to be a combination, I think, of more than just that. I think he's going to need that. I think he's going to need something from Loki, because right now, as we all know, Loki's the one holding the multiverse together. And if Doom wants to take over and create his own universe, he's going to have to loosen Loki's grip one way or a fucking another. Like, I don't see any way around that, personally. So, yeah. Yeah, no, I don't... the Eternals... Like, honestly, it would not surprise me nor bother me if they weren't even in that motherfucker. Like, they're scattered all holy hell right now anyway. Most of them are not even on Earth. Are any of them still on Earth? So, yeah, I don't think we're going to even see those motherfuckers. You could see Doom killing Arishem. Is it Arishem or Arishem? I like Arishem, personally. But is it supposed to be Arishem? Which one is it? Is the emphasis on the ah or the re? That's what I need to know. Yeah, I don't know if Doom can take on a Celestial without being God Emperor Doom, but maybe he can. But yeah, I don't think so. I don't think we're going to be seeing Celestials or Eternals in this. Or if we do, it'll just be a scene. I think they're going to have jack shit to do with this. Honestly. But you never know. You never know. Loki versus Doom bickering / banter will be fun to watch on screen if we see it. I do agree. Eternals was alright as a movie. That was another one that improved for me on the rewatch. That and the Batman both improved for me on the rewatch. I'm curious to see how Loki looks after being in that multiverse tree for so long. Like, real talk? He's outside of time, so I think he's going to look pretty much the same. Arishem? I don't know why you fixed it. The first one made more sense. Like, just type A or R-I. Arishem? Oh, Arishem is how they pronounced it? Okay. So, long A, but I was closer. I was saying Arishem, but it's Arishem, but it's not Arishem. Haha, fuck you, Josh. I love correcting his mispronunciations. It annoys him, and it's fun. Arishem. Okay. Cool. I was close. All right. Enough. Enough digression, at least for a few of these questions. Okay? Can we try? Can you guys not take advantage of my neurodivergence, and can we stay on point? Oh, whoops. Let's do this. There we go. Okay. So, Q&A. Avengers, Doomsday and Secret Wars, Black Panther, Captain Marvel, and the Marvels. Part 1. I have a feeling some of this we're not going to give two shits about, but what the hell. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. Wow, we're just getting right into these guys. I really wish sometimes he'd end with these. Back, had to get kids down. All right. Well, you got back just in time for the AliExpress shit, so good on you. I just wish he would have ended with this instead of started with this. Maybe, ooh, well, I don't have to read it in order now, do I? TLDR is we haven't even really gotten into this yet. We got sidetracked. I answered a couple questions, talked a little bit about leaks and scoops, but yeah, none. I didn't really get into. I haven't gotten into this article yet. Like I'm not in it. I was just about to start to get all up in it. Now I'm seeing that he's starting with like the big juice. So I may go out of order just because I'm going to put it, I want to put it in the order I think it should be in. So we're going to end with that. Wow. I swear it mentioned other things. Ah, here we go. All right, so let's check out what he has to say about Black Panther 3. Don't care about the greeting. Given that Black Panther 3 will be given a horror slash supernatural slash thriller tone, allegedly, do you know if Denzel Washington or a similar actor will potentially be playing a villain named, is it pronounced Achebe? I feel like that sounds like it would be right. Daredevil 8.5 out of 10? Alright. You left after my potty break? Okay, well, like I said, you missed nothing but a digression. Oh! Talked about some Russo brothers quotes. Movies are going to be, they estimate 2.5 hours for Doomsday and 3.5 hours for Secret Wars. RDJ's doing a shit ton of character research and coming up with backstory and costume ideas. Oh, it turns out Robert Downey Jr. approached them about coming back a year before they hooked up with McFeely and got activated by their idea. So we're talking like mid to late 2022. Downey was already ready to be back. It is Orisham. Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Damn it! Now I have to retract my statement to / about Josh. Fuck. Oh well. I'd rather be accurate, but damn it. Oh well. It is what it is. Anyway. Asking about Denzel playing Achebe, which is, been one of the bigger ideas floated around in a completely speculative manner. I don't really know about Denzel's roles for Black Panther 3. Usually, when A-list actors like Denzel are signed to appear in an MCU film, the tendency seems to be a one-and-done villain role. Now, that's not always the case, but it tends to be a villain role. So it's likely that he'll be a villain, but there is the matter of the idea of a Black Panther variant roaming around, which would be King T'Challa, T'Challa's grandfather, the Black Panther from World War II. Oh, the one that's in the video game. Cool. I would love to see that happen, although we'll see. Interesting. He thinks they might bring in the Black Panther from the World War II video game with him and Captain America in it, the name of which I can't remember, but y'all might know my story. Imagine the backstory Robert comes up with is just his own. Doom eats a nasty cheeseburger from Burger King and decides to change his life. I think it's going to be a bit more, it's going to have some more depth and complexity than that, I think. But, yeah, I don't think that would fly. It'd be interesting if he even, tried to play with that conceptually, though. Okay. So interesting, he's bringing up T'Challa, the Black Panther character from that video game. How many movies will we get between Doomsday and Secret Wars? How is that underneath Black Panther 3? Interestingly. Currently, we have Spider-Man 4 coming out July 31st, 2026. Then we have an untitled film. He put 2024. He meant 2026. Then we have an untitled film coming on November 6, 2026. And speaking to sources, Marvel was eyeing the November 2026 film to be a sequel. The two options being Black Panther 3 and Shang-Chi 2, with Black Panther 3 being the more likely of the duo, but that could have changed. Well, a few things have changed. That could end up being where Doomsday lands. Um, again, in order to get a movie done proper, like by November 2026, it should be filming now or next month, like Doomsday is. So, and since nothing else is going into production at this point this year, movie-wise, Marvel-wise, I don't see either of them. But we'll see. We shall see. Because I do feel like there's about to be some, as much as I refuse to believe this for quite some time, I think there is some calendar shuffling in the cards for these movies. Unfortunately. All right. Captain Marvel, Monica Rambeau, Kamala Khan, and the Marvels. All right. Greeting. Do you think Carol will be leading a cosmic team in Doomsday similar to what was rumored for Kang Dynasty? It's actually a decent question. I don't think that's necessarily going to be her role. See, from what I understand, she's currently studying how Kamala's Bangle, aka the Kree quantum bands, work, as well as studying the jump point systems to see how she's able to recreate the events from the Marvels that could allow her to bring back Monica from wherever she went. Problem is, if she does that, she'll be dooming her universe to a terrible fate. Yeah, because she'll be causing an incursion and an attack from the Fox X-Men universe, which might be what fucking happens. During Weird Science, Robert Downey Jr. infamously took a dump on the floor of an actress's trailer. Oh, and was interrogated by John Hughes. Maybe in Poomsday. So, okay. Yeah, because that would cause an incursion and inter-universal war and all kinds of fun shit. So, la 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 la. Will Monica Rambeau and Kamala Khan return in Doomsday? Yes. All right. Well, I mean, Monica would have to because that Fox X-Men universe is definitely going to be involved. And like part of what's been known about Secret Wars from Jump is that one of the larger functions of it, besides bringing everything together under one roof, now that Marvel pretty much has all the rights back to everything, not 100%, but mostly, was to say goodbye to the Fox X-Men. So yeah, Monica Rambeau was a big time given already. Yes, from what I've been told, we can expect both of them to return, and Monica Rambeau's role will be a tad more important to the story for this upcoming film. No shit, comparable to the role of Vision in Avengers Infinity War. Comparable to the role of Vision in Avengers Infinity War. Just watched the Marvels for the first time and was shocked at how much I liked it. Yeah, it was an enjoyable movie. The music playing it was weird. Like, for sure, the music playing was weird, but overall, that was a decent movie. Like, not great, but it was not anywhere near bad enough to deserve the box office bomb status that it ended up getting. That was a statement on Marvel. That was much more a statement on Marvel than it was the actual quality of that movie. That movie was not that bad. Not even close. So, imagine Dr. Doom showing up to Sing Planet and explaining its song. No. You stop that shit right now, Travis. Stop it. I know you can see down in the corner. Stop it. Okay. So, comparable to the role of Vision. Did he have that much of a role? Like, he got his ass beat a lot in the second action scene set piece. Then they took him to Wakanda. And then he got his ass beat some more and then ended up getting the Mind Stone yanked out of his... I really hope that he's making a bad analogy there, because that would mean Monica doesn't really do shit. Maybe I need to rewatch Infinity War, but Carol was light years more likable and relatable than previous appearances. Fury actually was utilized as a major character, and their chemistry was really fun. Plus Flirkin kittens. Never overlook the Flirkin kittens. They're fucking adorable. But yeah, I'm really hoping that's a bad analogy, and that her role will actually be much more significant than the Visions. Oh, very similar question. How big of a role is Monica Rambeau going to play in not only Doomsday but Secret Wars as well? Oh, she tacked on a little bit more. Okay. Secret Wars is early because we still don't know who will make it to the other side. Okay. Interesting. All right. Do you think previous entries will be looked at more fondly within the context of these films, / will many of the multiverse saga films have an effect on them beyond the 1 billion grossing ones? I'm not sure about them being looked upon fondly. What I will say is that a lot of them link up to Doomsday and Secret Wars. The Marvels is an example. Okay. So there's at least going to be a part 2. Right, so that's all the non-Doomsday, like super Doomsday Secret Wars specific stuff. Now we got all this. This is the juice, baby. This is the goods. You guys ready? Like, are you guys ready for this shit? This is where the fun begins. Question 1 under this. Do you kind of see Secret Wars as a sort of ending of the MCU and everything that came before? Not in the slightest, says Alex. It's not a full-on reboot. The idea is to essentially update the timeline universe into one where the Fantastic Four and X-Men characters exist. Yeah, soft reboot. There's an untitled movie coming out before Doomsday. Do you think they're going to be using that slate? Yeah, that's February 26th. And I've been saying for a long time that nothing is going there. I don't really see them using that date, says Alex. No, because if they want something to come out next February, that bitch should have been filming late last summer, early last fall. And it should be in post right now. That slate shall remain blank. Next question. One of the most intriguing aspects in the prelude to Secret Wars 2015, the comics, was the moral decline of many heroes as incursions became more prominent. In Avengers Doomsday, can we expect some heroes to delve into morally ambiguous territory to deal with incursions as their situation becomes more desperate? That's a good question. Yes, 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 and yes. These are the types of questions I love. Yes, you could expect to see that, especially the ones that side with Doom. To them, Doom is their savior. I don't think there's too much to dive into on that. Yeah. I mean, that's pretty much an essential part of the story, is the moral quandaries created by the incursions and how different characters and different versions of different characters in different universes, how they react and what they're willing to do. As Nick Fury said to Thor in the first Avengers movie, I'm asking, what are you prepared to do? That is the great moral question. That's, a big part of the moral question that situations like these allow to be explored. From the recently leaked concept art for Avengers, are there any that no longer hold out for the Russo's visions for these films? Okay, this will be fun. No one's really talked about this. Like, I haven't seen too many, I follow, the bigger ones on the TwitX, and I haven't seen them saying too much about this art. So, let's see. Alex says, I couldn't say with any certainty because this is preliminary pre-production stuff. Most of the time it will get altered or updated later in pre-production or even during production. Oh, for Marvel, yeah, doing that kind of shit during production is the norm. For example, some of the concept art is missing key characters meant to be in those scenes, but perhaps when they were made, they weren't considered. But overall, the general idea of those scenes is still happening. Overall, the general idea of those scenes is still happening. Didn't even consider people voluntarily join Doom? Oh, yeah. The general idea of those scenes is still happening. So does that mean we're probably still going to get that medieval motif? Um, are we going to be getting Doom on a throne in like a medieval looking throne room setting? Like what does that mean? Or does it mean in an even broad in a more broad general sense that you know, at least some of Battle World is going to look like fucking the Middle Ages. Is basically what that boils down to. Or are we dipping out even broader in scope and just saying they're toying with the idea of engaging in period piece motifs? Like maybe they're still going to stick with, you know, a certain section of history, but maybe it won't be medieval. Maybe they'll go farther back. Maybe they'll make shit look Roman. Um, you know, for, you know, maybe they go complete opposite and make it very futuristic looking. You know, maybe that's the general idea. Is they're going to play around with period piece looks for Battle World. Who the fuck knows? That's pretty goddamn vague. Pretty goddamn vague. Other than, you know, setting us up to expect not a whole lot of much of what we saw in those pictures to be on the screen by the time it's all said and done. Next question. Any ideas on what Doom's plans / motivations are in Doomsday? Alex says, Doom wants to stop the incursions from happening and stop the multiverse from entirely collapsing on itself. In a way, he's technically a hero in his eyes and the eyes of his followers, kind of like how Thanos saw himself as the hero in Infinity War. All right? I think people will have a better time processing this movie if they stop thinking of Doom as the ultimate villain, meant to swap out Kang at the last minute, even though that was the plan, and more as the antagonist who thinks he's the hero and is pissed at He Who Remains for essentially silencing his universe as well as every other universe / timeline that didn't correspond to the sacred timeline, and wants nothing more than to, quote, take the reins of his timeline and win his freedom. Okay. I mean, there've been, you know, rumors / speculation of concepts. Some of them have sounded like this, where Doom would be acting in what he thinks of as the greater good and trying to save the multiverse, and, you know, being very amoral about it, but still, you know, technically the hero and the one to be worshipped is God Emperor Doom. So yeah, I can totally see that being very, very accurate. And again, it's been talked about. Yeah, he'd be very pissed at He Who Remains for fucking with his universe. By taking parts of different universes from different time periods each, it eliminates the likelihood of people banding together while also allowing people a blueprint of progression in order to build. Um, yeah, maybe. I don't know if it eliminates the likelihood of people banding together so much. I mean, would it be hard for societies at different levels of progression to work things out. Yes. I don't know if it eliminates it. I would say it definitely reduces the likelihood for sure. You know, it's hard to trust someone who is like so far technologically advanced over you that your shit is basically preschool level. You know, I'd find it hard to get along with someone like that. You know, assuming I'm taking the preschool level role, which is probably a safe assumption, like honestly. But yeah, I would say reduces the likelihood, not eliminates. Oh, don't you even dare bring that fucking movie up, Travis. That was a travesty, and it should not even have the Highlander name on it. Fuck that movie. Kind of a Tower of Babel effect, I think. Yeah. Yeah, that makes a bit of sense. But yeah, I mean, this is a very, again, this is that Doom's going to be kind of Thanos-like in being a quote unquote savior, and that like he really, really wants to do very mean things to He Who Remains for fucking with his universe. Very, very believable, and again, pairs up with you know, seems to confirm a lot of the speculations. Next question. What element of that original King Dynasty / Secret Wars are you most disappointed to have lost in the new direction? Alex says, honestly, most of the stuff is still there. Okay. But I would have loved to see how Kang and Doctor Strange would have interacted, and how Kang would have made fun of Strange for essentially messing around with time in such a primitive way. I mean, yeah, I could see that happening for sure. I also wanted them to have He Who Remains come back and explain what he did during the multiversal war properly, because we didn't get the whole story. You know, I don't need more than his soliloquy at the end of of season 1 of Loki. I'm good with what we got there personally. I mean, I I also would not be averse to more details. You know, I like the details, but that's not something I can't live without. It's not something I'm like, damn, I need to know this. So yeah, that's not any kind of big deal for me not getting the rest of that story. Oh, he's not done yet. And I'm sure that we'll see Ravonna again. She'll explain what happened. But I'd rather have had He Who Remains explain his perspective as to why the sacred timeline is the way it is. Like, when the fuck are we even going to see Ravonna again? Secret Wars? Doom was pissed because He Who Remains made sure his universe only had Highlander 2 on DVD, but not the original. Damn, that's some cold shit, bro. I would not want to live in that fucking universe. Right, but yeah, when the fuck are we going to see Ravonna? Ravonna, Ms. Renslayer? Like, when the fuck are we even going to see her? Like, I mean, is someone just going to run into her in the void or some shit? But whatever. I can't think of a way to work that in without it seeming very forced, but, you know, it's also not my job to think of that. And there's reasons why I don't have that job. As you can see right now, there are reasons in which I'm like, why or how. Why did the MCU have to go the storyline it did? Why did he remove such crucial characters like the Fantastic Four and the mutants from the panorama? And if they were originally meant to be a part of that timeline and removed from the sacred timeline, does that mean the timeline we have been seeing on screen for the last 15 plus years isn't the original version of our universe? Josh has talked about such a thing. And last of all, what future was King trying to avoid that forced him to create the sacred timeline so he could preserve his longevity? Was it Doom? Was it something more? We'll see how they adapt that and have it play out. So yeah, Josh has speculated on the fact that the universe Doom comes from is how do you put it? A more pure version of the 616, one much closer to the comics than the current MCU 616. And he also theorizes that Doom's not just going to be pissed at He Who Remains, but he's going to be pissed about... Well, no, that would be why he's pissed at He Who Remains. Never mind. But yeah, so Josh has speculated on it, and it makes sense to me. That the universe Doom comes from would be much more like the comics universe, with everyone in the same playground, instead of spread out amongst different studios. And obviously this isn't a confirmation, or if it is, it's a very, very subtle one. But yeah, to me that makes sense, that Doom's universe much more closely resembles the comics than does the current MCU. Anything about Loki's role in Doomsday/Secret Wars? Alex says, he'll be our MacGuffin. The race against Doomsday will be a race to see who gets to Loki first. Exactly what I've been saying. Loki is holding the multiverse together. There's no taking over anything until you deal with Loki. It must happen. There's like literally no way around it. Okay, and next question. I know that you said in the past that you're not for certain who the new Avengers are, but given that filming is next month, do you know who the Avengers are? New Avengers are. The new Avengers won't be formed at 100% until Secret Wars. They're disbanded into many different groups which won't come together until said movie. It's why they'll lose in Doomsday. Okay? Who are the main key players for Doomsday? Oh, Captain Obvious from the start. Doom is at the top of that list. No shit. Fantastic Four? Yup. Doctor Strange? Yup. Spider-Man? Yup. Captain America? Sam Wilson? Yup. Captain Marvel? Carol Danvers? Yup. Wong and Bruce Banner are also on that list, along with a handful of mutants that I can't mention just yet. Yeah, Fox mutants from Earth 10005, where Monica Rambeau currently be at. That's your handful of mutants. Maybe a few more. That would be cool. But those are the mutants I'm expecting as the Fox X-Men. Do you have any behind-the-scenes info regarding Doomsday, as it's starting production in a few weeks from now? Only that it's going to be in London, and that they've already prepared a few sets. I've heard the Sanctum Sanctorum was a set piece being used, but that's all I got. Okay. That's cool. Sanctum Sanctorum. Definitely Strange associated that, or Wong. I'd say that definitely guarantees Wong. That's about it. Not a whole lot to get out of that one, unfortunately. Any insight as to what character dynamics we can expect in Doomsday, character pairings and all that jazz? Okay, that's a pretty cool question. I like that one. I've already teased Doom and Strange before in a previous Q&A, yes. I think one I'm kind of looking forward to is seeing how Sam reacts to Bucky standing side by side with Walker. Yeah, that'll be a fun one. Something else I kind of want to see is how Monica's relationship with the alternate universe Maria, a.k.a. Binary, plays out. Yeah, that's going to be awkward for a minute. It's going to definitely be awkward. Monica's going to be like, Ma, and Maria's going to be like, bitch, what? Like, I understand I look like your mother, but I'm sorry, I'm not your mother. Please stop calling me that. It's weird. They'll definitely have that face. They may work it out. They may hug it out at some point, but it's going to be awkward for a minute, I feel like. Any truth to the rumor that the conceit of Doomsday is that Doom's origin is a take on what if Tony Stark was held in a cave with Victor Von Doom instead of Jensen? I think I've heard that brought up once and never again, so I'm going to guess and say Alex is going to say no. I have no comment, but I personally think no. So in other words, no. He has no comment means he doesn't want to confirm or say anything. But he adds, but I personally think no, so that's a big fat no. Travis says, likely nothing, but in Arabic, Eliath translates to the sheep's fat tail or white of the eye, which reminds me of the Ivory King's name the Beyonders take. You're using some rubber bands to connect them thumbtacks, but yeah. In other words, you're stretching. You're stretching, Travis. But Marvel does get fairly clever with that kind of shit sometimes, so you never fucking know. But you're stretching. You're getting your Reed Richards on with that one, sir. Okay. Next question. Sort of a two-parter here. We know Doomsday's gone through a total creative overhaul, even down to the title change. My question is, was Secret Wars overhauled to the same extent? Ooh, that's a nice question as well. Getting some good questions this time. Stretching like a wormhole or Mr. Fantastic? Correct. Alex says, I think a lot of people might be exaggerating the total overhaul thing. Okay. Yes, King and his council were removed from the film and switched out for Doom. And the way Doom gets introduced is also something new they had to work in. But ultimately, in the grand scheme of it all, it's still a very similar story being told. And that's that the remaining heroes of the remaining worlds of the multiverse have to find a way to save their own universe and how they'd go about in doing that, even if it means the destruction of the other universe to save their own. Okay. Well, I mean, we did hear similar things about the King Dynasty, or at least similar things were speculated upon. So, if that's how they're doing it, we're going to be doing some bouncing around from universe to universe. And we're going to get a lot of discussions of morality, I think. And some really good fights. So, but yeah, it's it's a large moral quandary. Like, how Machiavellian do you get? Like, situational ethics, justifications, possible sophistry, all that kind of fun shit. Right. My questions are as follows. In your opinion, are there going to be any big differences with the deaths of characters in Doomsday Secret Wars compared to Infinity War Endgame? Okay. Nope, not sure how to answer this question other than it will hurt a lot. Oh, really? Really, 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 really? They're going to kill motherfuckers. Well, I imagine most of those motherfuckers getting killed is, again, going to be Fox X-Men. This is a goodbye to them. Evidently, or it now seems quite possible that goodbye will not be a ride off into the sunset, but a ride into the beyond, the great beyond, the afterlife. They're going to get unalived. It is now a distinct possibility, at least to me. What would you say the tone of Doomsday and Secret Wars is? Similar to Infinity War and Endgame. Big blockbuster with a sense of dread lurking in the background. Okay. I mean, it's already they've already felt like almost the same basic premise as those two this whole time anyway, so not a surprise there. Do you expect the cast reveal of Doomsday at SDCC 2025? Ooh. I expect a look at Doom to officially be revealed. Ooh, that would be so fucking cool. And they better do a goddamn better job of it than James Gunn did with the Superman introduction, reveal, whatever you want to call it. We already know a good chunk of the cast. You got Victor Von Doom, Sam Wilson, Joaquin Torres, Yelena Belova, Bucky Barnes, Red Guardian, Ghost, U.S. Agent, Taskmaster. Oh, wait, I did see a thing that somehow Taskmaster will return. And I said, variant. Reed Richards, Susan Storm, Johnny Storm, Ben Grimm. You could have just said the Fantastic Four, bro. Franklin Richards, Spider-Man, Doctor Strange, Carol Danvers, Monica Rambeau, Bruce Banner, Wong, America Chavez, and I can keep going on and on. Well, we'd have to split the article into like 5 parts for that. Okay. I mean, the word on the street has been that there's going to be a fuck ton of characters in this, so it's not a surprise. Not a surprise at all. You think there will be multiple villains from the past movies in Secret Wars? Interestingly enough, says Alex, I haven't heard much about the villains for this movie outside of Doom. Oh. Except, I don't think that's true because you've referenced Hydra Cap and evil versions of the Avengers more than once, sir. I feel you just contradicted yourself. We've heard many times that much of the inspiration for the upcoming Avengers films will be the magnificent comic run from Jonathan Hickman, Fantastic Four Times, etc. Yes, Hickman's the man. What are some of the main aspects from Hickman's build-up to Secret Wars that they'll be focusing on adapting? Ooh, okay. The impending doom of the multiverse due to the incursions, which we've seen like 2, and the creation of Battleworld, I think, are the main plot points they're planning to adapt. Oh, wait, 3. While trying to create their own thing. There's also the matter of the heroes we know going up against heroes and villains from other universes. Okay, so yeah. Yeah, we've seen like 3 incursions. The end of No Way Home, that's technically an incursion, although it was stopped. What was left of Sinister Strange's universe in Multiverse of Madness. And at the end of the Marvels, when that hole got busted open between the 2 universes. Well, at least that was the beginnings of an incursion anyway. No Way Home was the beginnings of an incursion anyway. And from the looks of things in Sinister Strange's universe, that's getting to the end of an incursion right there. So, yeah, we haven't seen much in the way of incursions. It's going to be... I'm interested to see how they're going to sell them as a threat when we've barely seen them. You know what I mean? And that's one of the concerns I've seen brought up quite a number of times when it comes to Doomsday specifically is, okay, well, we know there's incursions happening, but, like, how are they going to make it significant? And, like, really, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how they do that shit. Because, Lucy, they got splaining to do. Delta Dan's back. Travis says, that incursion point in the Marvels looked like an adult film star's butthole. Interesting comparison, Travis. Interesting comparison. I mean, I can't act like I've never seen an adult film star's butthole. That would be so disingenuous. I've seen a lot of them. It's a lot of doggy style porn. What can I say? I'd have to say kinda. Yeah, kinda. All right, next question. Will Captain Britain Corps appear in Doomsday or Secret Wars? I'm going to say, since I get to scroll down again, this means I get to guess, and I'm going to say no. Too early, I'm afraid. So yes, no. Aha. Assuming RDJ's Doom has a team of evil variants alongside him, Hydra Cap, for example, who could you see as being members of that team? Who said they had to be evil? They could be misguided variants who are led astray by the promise of their world and universe being saved from the end of the multiverse by Doom. I mean, that's totally fair. And that would be very Doom-like. You walked into Travis talking about adult film stars' buttholes. That's what you walked into. Delta Dan. I mean, that's a good point, though. Who said they had to be evil? They could be, just... Doom could be suckering them. And that would be a very Doom thing to do. All right. What are some Oh, this is the last question in this section, too. What are some locations you'd like to see utilized in Battleworld for Secret Wars? Now, this is just his opinion. I don't even think this is a clue about what we'll actually see. Greenland. I think that's where the Hulks be at in the comics. Spider Island. That'd be cool. Although I don't know who they'd put on there outside of Tom, Toby, and Andrew. because everything else Sony has done is bullshit. Um, Doomguard, of course, that'd be the dope. The Void, we'll probably see that. And the Citadel at the end of time, we'll definitely see that because that's where Loki be at. So, two of those, I'm 98% sure we're definitely going to get. I would imagine the odds are pretty high for Doomguard. I have no idea about Greenland or Spider Island, though. Actually, I think the idea of Spider Island is the least likely out of those. Matter of fact, you can, if you flipped Greenland and Spider Island, you could go from right to left in the order I think we're definitely going to get. And I'd put the Citadel and the Void both at almost an equal level. Or actually basically at an equal level of the odds of those showing up, which is, to me, 100%. We're getting those two. 1 fucking 100%. We're getting the Void and the Citadel at the end of time. In my opinion. I think the odds are pretty reasonably high for Doomguard, considering, you know, this is fucking Doomsday. In Secret Wars, it's Doom, 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 and more fucking Doom. So yeah, Doomguard makes a lot of sense. Greenland makes sense in terms of all the rumors / speculation about the mystery movie that films this fall being a World War Hulk movie. So that makes sense. If I'm correct about Greenland being the place on the comics battle world where all the Hulks ended up. Spider Island, super unlikely in my opinion, because Sony. Would be dope if we could also see Doombots as well. I think there's a reasonable chance that we will. I think there's a reasonable chance that we will. I mean, they used him when they introduced him. So, Dance, as long as I'm walking into female adult film stars' b-holes, I'm kind of game. I mean, that's fair. Totally fair. Imagine we see that 70s McDonald's from Loki again. That would be a fun place for the Avengers to regroup for a bit. I mean, that would be interesting. But I'm pretty sure that universe is spaghetti at this point, if I recall correctly. Ooh, I'm getting tired, motherfuckers. So that's the end of that one, and my opinion on his final answer. What do y'all think, chat? What do y'all think of this synopsis of these questions and answers? And any info we can glean from them. What say you, chat? Was this dope? I think it was pretty dope. I love confirmation. I love confirmation of my speculation, especially when it comes to Loki. Like anyone who thought Loki wouldn't be involved in this, I don't know what the hell they were even thinking. Do we see Doom on a surfboard again, which I always thought looked cool as hell? I mean, that was actually pretty dope in Rise of the Silver Surfer, for sure. I do agree that part of that movie was really fucking cool. I'm gonna say no, but I wouldn't say it's impossible. I will say it's highly, highly unlikely, but I wouldn't be mad. Matter of fact, I think it'd be pretty fucking sweet. Oops. Oopsie. I like the news we got on RDJ being very committed to doing his research on Doom. Yeah, that is highly awesome in my opinion, for sure. Oh, I thought that was pretty fucking sick, and I enjoyed it. Got some perspective on some stuff. I think it's pretty damn cool. Let me know your thoughts, chat. And any other questions, concerns, or whatever you have, because I'm starting to get tired and I'm about ready to go. Like real talk. But if there's something you really want to chat about, I am down for that as well. I mentioned this before, but what if Tony's dad has to become Iron Man, or is Iron Man from another universe? Um, that'd be interesting. That would be interesting. I don't know exactly how they do that, but that would be very. Oh wow! Look what I did. How about I do that? Won't that be more fun? There we go. Silly me. You think John Krasinski coming back as a Reed? I don't. Miles Teller. Um. Mm, maybe. I would say there's a less than 50% chance. I know Alex has brought up the Council of Reeds before, but Starboy says, couldn't sleep. Now I'm back. The more I think about DD, the lower my score goes. What? Stop that, Darboyd. You stop that right now. You just got, brain fog from fatigue. That's what's going on. But yeah, there's again, unless they do a Council of Reeds, which they could do, but honestly, I feel like that'd be a story to save for after the soft reboot, honestly. But they could still do it. So, we'll see. It's crazy how mad everyone was that John Krasinski wasn't our main Reed. Now no one cares. Oh, I wouldn't go that far. People still bring it up. No, people still bring it up. Especially people that really, really don't like the Pedro casting. They're like, it should have been Krasinski. And you know what? I would have been perfectly happy if it was Krasinski. I thought the little bitty of Reed we got to see him play before he got disassembled by Wanda. I bought it. I wouldn't have minded seeing more of it, but I happen to be a pretty big fan of Pedro Pascal's acting. I've enjoyed everything I've ever seen him in. Well, let me rephrase that. I've enjoyed his acting in everything I've seen him in. Like, he was in Wonder Woman 84. And that movie sucked ass. But yeah, he's a damn fine actor. And I'm pretty sure he's going to nail Reed Richards. And I also hope. But I'm pretty sure. Before he got Slim Jim. The fuck? Alright, y'all. I'm getting the fuck out of here. It is, after all, weeknight. Tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. Invincible Watch Party. Episode whatever the fuck we're on. 7, I think. It's either 6 or 7. I can't remember. I'll have it figured out by tomorrow night, though. But yeah, 9 o'clock tomorrow night. Invincible Watch Party. It looks like the Invincible War is about to start. As you saw, we saw those Invincible variants at the end of the last episode. With the big brain homie ready to unleash them on our world. So, I expect tomorrow night's episode to be pretty fucking lit. So I hope y'all stop by and watch it with me at 9 o'clock Eastern Time. Ain't doing shit Friday. And then we'll be right back here Saturday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the regularly scheduled Saturday night stream. Okay, so that's what's coming up. You get Invincible a day late because yo-ho, yo-ho? Well, that sucks balls. All right, chat. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for being here if you've watched the whole fucking replay. I appreciate all of you for hanging out and spending your very valuable time here with me, talking the nerdy talk. Y'all are the best, and I appreciate you so much. So I hope you have a good day tomorrow, and I hope to see you tomorrow night at 9 for the Invincible watch party. Chill Avengers for life. Fuck yeah, baby. Fuck yeah. Hell yeah, Darboyd. Well put, sir. Well put. Okay. Much love, everybody. Hopefully see you tomorrow night at 9. Peace. I don't know if I've mentioned this, but y'all are fucking awesome. I may have mentioned it, but I'm going to keep on mentioning it because it's going to continue to be true. Y'all are dope. And I am forever grateful that you have chosen to hang out here in the basement with me. So thank you for being here. Thank you for always helping to make these good streams. It takes all of us. It ain't just me that's making these streams cool. It's y'all. So thank you very, very much. Have a good day tomorrow. Watch party for Invincible tomorrow night at 9. Hope to see you there. But in between now and then, please remember this. Wherever you're at and whoever you're with, always keep it nerdy. Later.